What's up, everyone? It's Trainer Dell, and today is Valentine's Day, so I'm going to bring to you my updated deck profile on the Chandra Fire of Kaladesh EDH, because, red, Valentine's Day, passion, love. Chandra's my favorite planeswalker. When I mean update, well, I did that video where I kind of showcased a few of my EDH decks, and that video I made a while ago. But since then, I've kind of changed some things from the decks here and there. So I decided, you know what, maybe I should start profiling them. The Olivia one, I had one before. If you want to watch that profile, you're welcome to. I think that's better when I kind of like sold some cards. But I've just upgraded this. I took Obliterate out because it's not a fun card for everyone. It's a card that's uncounterable, and when people see it and destroy all their lands, it sets us all back to Stone Age. The reason I did that was because of this card. It destroyed like everything except like planeswalkers. So I thought that if I can get her planeswalker mode, activate her, like protect her for some turns, get her ult off, it just speeds up the game. So what she does is she's 1 and 2 red, legendary creature. Whenever you cast a red spell, untap Chandra, Fire of Kaladesh. Now when you tap her, she deals the damage to a target player, and if she's dealt 3 or more damage this turn, you exile her and return her under your control, but flip. So usually I like to just swing for 2, play a red spell, untap her, and then tap her with her own ability, and that's 3. I think that's how you're supposed to do it. You shouldn't just try to go for the 3 like little pings. But yeah. And then when she's transformed, it's not like the greatest ability. She's not the best Chandra Planeswalker. But as you can see, she deals 2 damage to target player. So she either shocks the player for a +1, she shocks the creature for -2, which isn't the best stats. But I really like her -7, which is if you get there. She deals 6 damage to each opponent, and if they take that damage, they get an emblem where during their upkeep they get hit with 3 extra damage. So yeah, just mono red. It's an alright. Playing Young Pyromancer because he gets all the elemental tokens for instant sorceries. Tilinali's Summoner, where she gives you City's Blessing if you have Ascend, and whenever she attacks, you can pay X in a red, and you get those X/1/1 red elemental creatures. They're exiled unless you have City's Blessings. So these are mostly for Skull Clamp that I have later on. Dockside Extortionist, which is just a really cool like mono red ramp card. It just gives you I guess I should explain it. It gives you X treasure tokens, where X is the number of artifacts and enchantments your opponents control. So you can bring it out a little bit later when everyone gets their mana rock set up. Chandra's Embercat, just it's ramp if you're going to use it on a Chandra Planeswalker spell or elemental. Now sadly I'm not playing any other Chandra Planeswalker cards in here. I just decided she can be the one and only Chandra in here, and everything else can be fun. Chandra Spitfire. Whenever your opponent is dealt non-combat damage, it gets +3/+0 to end a turn. Magus of the Moon turns all non-basic lands to mountains. It can really be a blowout for certain cards. Gonna move my chair a little bit to get in better position. Magus of the Wheel. Magus, however you want to say, 1 in a red, tap, sacrifice it, and everyone discards their hand and draws 7. Merchant of the Veil, just the instant for Haggle, which is the rummage effect, and then 2 and a red to do a rummage again. Extra draw. One of my favorite cards in this deck is just Rampaging Frostodon. I just like how it has a nice little evasion of menace. Players can't gain life because that's I really need them to burn quickly. And whenever another creature enters the battlefield, it deals the damage to the creature's controller. Legion Warboss, another card that I like to create tokens for. So it has Mentor, but at the beginning of your turn, or your combat turn, you create a 1/1 red goblin token, and it has to attack. But if it survives that attack or whatever, then if I have Skull Clamp, that's just, it's an army in a can, but Skull Clamp just does work. Chandra's Phoenix, Flying Haste. Whenever an opponent is dealt damage by a red instant or sorcery, you can return from the graveyard to your hand. Dualcaster Mage, part of a combo in this deck. But yeah, it's just, it has flash, and whenever it enters the battlefield, I can copy an instant target or sorcery spell, and I can choose new targets. So I'll show you that target a little bit later on. So I'll kind of hold this to the side. Burnish Heart, just to gain some, lands. Skyfire Phoenix. One of my new favorite cards from the latest Commander set, which is just Flying in Haste. It's just another Phoenix. Not the greatest stats, but whenever you cast your commander, I can return this from my graveyard to the battlefield, and it has Flying Haste, so some sort of vision. Just something to keep on the field if I have it. Obsidian Fireheart. Really cool. It's 1 and 3 red for a 4/4 elemental, but for 1 and 2 reds, I can put a blaze counter on target land without a blaze counter on it, and as long as it has it, it just deals an extra ping damage to that player. Torbran, Thane of Redfell, just gives all your red sources an extra 2 damage. It was really cool. Really helps out a lot. Solemn Simulacrum, staple. Backdraft Hellkite gives all my, when it attacks, each of my instant and sorcery cards gain flashback. So I think that's really cool. I was trying to play some other cards that retrieve, instant and sorceries, but, I think this is a much better card just because, you swing and then your instants, you can just go off from there. Magmatic Force, an elemental. This is one of the bigger cards in this deck. I think it's the biggest creature I play. And it's at the beginning of each upkeep, it deals 3 damage to target creature or player. So if this gets down, it's, we just got to speed up that clock. Gamble, which is a tutor card, but then you search your card, or you search your library for a card, and then, discard a card at random. Faithless Looting to draw, Vandal Blast to either target, an artifact that I don't control, or overload it. Usually we save it for the overload to destroy everyone else's artifacts. Hopefully after we do Dockside Extortionist to gain all those treasure tokens. Twin Flame, so this is a card that works with Dual Caster Mage, where if you choose any number of target creatures, you create a token and they gain haste. So together, you have to have another creature that can last, and you just play this, come down with this, copy this, create him, the copies of him make this. Just a nice little mono red combo without Kiki Jiki, because I only have one Kiki Jiki and that's in a different deck. Cathartic Reunion for draw. Exquisite Firecraft deals 4 damage, but if I have 2 or more instant and sorceries, then it can't be countered by spells or abilities. Collective Defiance, nice modes. Usually I like to draw the cards, but also deal 4 damage to something, and the escalation isn't even that much. It's just 1 generic mana, so for like 2 extra, so 2, 3, 5, like 5, you do everything? Yeah. Not that bad. Chain Reaction for token against token decks. If I get it off and then there's a bunch of tokens on the field, it's just a way to clear them off the board, but it can also take off big creatures. The more the creatures there are, the more damage everything gets dealt. Reforge of the Soul. Hopefully just a redraw hand. Even if I draw in the beginning, it's totally fine, but hopefully we miracle it off for 1 in a red to wheel. Blasphemous Act, just one of the best red board wipes as well. By Force, destroys X target artifacts. So, we have Vandal Blast, but we also have this as backup, Red Elemental Blast to just stop anything blue. They're not playing blue. I can ditch it or send it away with any of the cards that say discard a card to draw, whatever. It's all good. But if they're playing blue, it's a nice surprise. Magma Jet, an instant card that helps, does 2 damage and scry 2, so it can do that. A few of these lower instants I use with Isochron Scepter, so, Incinerate, just because it's a Chandra card, 3 damage, can't be regenerated if it's, destroyed. Smash the Smithereens, destroys a target artifact, deals 3 damage to that artifact controller. Price of Progress, which is one of the more favorite ones I would love to get under Isochron Scepter. Just deals damage equal to twice the number of non-basic lands. So if they have an EDH people with different mana bases when they're playing multiple colors, they probably have 3 or 4, so they're going to be taking 8 damage. Ignorant Bliss, remove all cards in your hand from game face down. At the a turn, you return them all and draw cards. So it's like draw 1. That's basically all it is. And under Isochron Scepter, just helps me get more advantage. Thrill of Possibility, one of the cards that, you can discard a card, but just draw 2 cards. It's at instant speed, so that's also really cool. I would not want to put that under Isochron Scepter. I would want Price of Progress, Ignorant Bliss, or even this card Reverberate, because Reverberate's basically counterspell in almost in a sense sometimes. It's either, if they're playing a counterspell, you can counterspell their counterspell, but you can also use it just to make your big spells that go off double. So, Chaos Warp, another really good red staple. Wild Ricochet, just, copies stuff and then copies it again, or moves things and then copies it. Chandra's Fury, just 4 damage to a target player and then 1 to each creature they control. So another like token remover. Because this deck doesn't really have defense, it's all offense. Ravaging Blaze, deal X damage to target creature, but if I have 2 or more instant sorceries, I deal X damage to that creature's controller. And of course, like dual casting mage, because he'll copy this and stuff. You don't have to always do the combo, but sometimes you'll hit like 2 people really strong, or 1 person for a lot. Comet Storm, just a multi-kicker. Yeah, I wish it's just another finisher sometimes, but I wish I had the Rings of Brightheart and stuff so I can make unlimited mana, but I don't. So that's totally fine. That's something that I'm looking to upgrade. I have the Basalt Monolith. I just need to get Rings of Brightheart. So onto the artifacts. Soul Ring, because it's Soul Ring. Skull Clamp, because it's super important. If I get any of those token generators out on the field and create a few tokens here and there and just, equip it to draw 2 cards, that's totally fine. Chandra's Regulator. I like that this was the M20 promo. If you cast a loyalty ability, you can pay 1 to double it, or pay 1 and discard a mountain or red card to draw a card. So just, another artifact that helps me rummage. Mind Stone, it's Mind Stone. Ruby Medallion, lower red costs, and then Fire Diamond as a red ramp. Endless Atlas, another draw engine, because, there's a lot of basic mountains in here. Isochron Scepter, which is one of the better cards in this deck. I think just if you get any of those really good instants under it, it's just good to have. I mean, it's EDH, so it'll probably be an answer for it, but if you can stick to the board, that'd be cool. Mana Geode, basically just play this, even though it gives mana of any color, I like to scry. So it just helps me with that, scrying. Unstable Obelisk, I can't really get rid of a lot of enchantments or sometimes even like bigger creatures. So this can just help me ramp early and then later on hopefully destroy something that might be causing a problem. Thoran Dynamo, because it's Thoran Dynamo, ramp. Neville's Disc, another card that, because this deck can't stop like enchantments and stuff, it's just a board wipe, just non-color board wipe. And it doesn't hit Planeswalkers, so if I have my Chandra out flipped, she's totally safe. Pyromancer's Gauntlet kind of does the same thing that Thoran does, where a red source, it's basically like a red source, but more instant sorcery, and a Planeswalker, it deals just 2 extra damage. Pyromancer's Goggle, which is also ramp, but also if you use a red instant or sorcery spell that you cast with this, you copy it. Cage Sun, which is like MVP. This is what we get to the bigger stuff, or we are able to double our mana, so then our red spells can do more damage. It's just really cool. Definitely welcome in a mono red deck. Curse of Opulence. I'm so glad I found these in my extras. I've had these and I've lost 1, but I found this one and I just didn't understand how good this card is. It's turn 1, you can just kind of give it to an opponent that you think is the biggest threat, like their commander might be really strong, and it's just ramp. It's just free artifacts for you, or like free tokens, gold tokens that you can sacrifice to add 1 color any mana to your mana pool for you, and hopefully your opponents help you attack that person. I think this is a really awesome card. I didn't even know about it, but Modern Horizons, it's a newer set, so, and I didn't really pull many rares, it's harder to pull stuff, but each land in your hand has cycling red, so with extra lands you don't really need, especially when we get the Manland, if we get Cage Sun out, then, we just draw more. Enchanter's Bane, which is to stop other decks with their enchantments, just help with more enchantment removal. They can either take the damage for it, so it's at the beginning of my end step, target enchantment deals damage equal to its converted mana cost to its controller unless they sacrifice it, so they can get rid of it or they can keep it and keep taking damage. Blood Sun, to stop mana abilities, fetch lands and stuff like that. It also draws a little card, but it's mostly the stop fetch lands. Blood Moon to stop everything else on, well, non-basic. Outpost Siege, just a little extra jaw engine, if anything like that. I always use cons, unless, if you want to play dragons, but I don't really play a lot of creatures. So, yeah, cons to exile the top card in your upkeep, and until the end of the turn, you can play it. So even if it's a land, you can play the land as your land drop for that turn. Furnace of Wrath to double the damage because, this is commander. Like, red isn't really good at burning, but if your cards are doing the double the damage, then, it's a bit more, how you say, it's just a bit better. Dry Reach Strength, Sanitarium, adds 1, but everyone can draw a card, then discard a card. And I liked a lot of these lands because they can just add 1 generic mana. So if I have Blood Moon out, it doesn't really matter. They just become mountains and they can still give me mana. Or Blood Sun, like they can still tap for their normal ability, the tap from 1. Mergent Zone 1 and sacrifice it after you tap it, and all the spells I can cast have flash basically. Arcane Lighthouse, 1 tap, and then until creatures your opponents control lose Hexproof or Shroud and can't have it. So that's really cool. You can burn stuff. Buried Landscape just to dig through more mountains. Because, you want to get to your red spells. You want to get to the big red spells. You just Rotten Cave, just recycling. Smoldering Crater, again, another cycling, and Desert of the Fervent. They're red taps that you can cycle off if you need to. Flamekin Village, red and tap it to have your creature gain haste. Could become in really helpful, especially with the what's his name, the Hellkite. Backdraft Hellkite. I gotta remember the movie whenever I think about him. Ramunap Ruins. I don't know why, but I always think about Ramune, like the soda, the Japanese one, whenever I see this card. But just taps 1 generic mana, but I can pay a life and gain red, or 2 and 2 red to sacrifice it and deal 2 damage to each opponent. So if I don't really need it, then 25 basic mountains. So yeah, that's about it. That's the Chandra deck. It's happy Valentine's Day. Hopefully you guys are having a nice one, and even if you don't have a date or anything, there's a lot of candy and cupcakes out there being made. Red's my favorite color, so definitely got to show this off. Yeah, anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll have more deck profiles for the other EDH decks each week, and maybe another collector video of stuff that I've found in storage when I was moving. All right, thanks for watching. Peace.